All right, we are back on a Monday. We're here to get you through it. All right, weekend. You can't get to Friday without Monday. Yeah, fantastic weekend. We got a lot to talk about, including David starting a social media war over whether cold pizza is good or not.
Cold pizza's trash, y'all.
Well, I don't hate it. Like I would rather have warmer pizza, but I don't hate cold pizza.
I don't think anything involved with pizza is trash.
Okay, well, I can get behind that that pizza is awesome, but man, heat it up. Is it even pizza if it's still cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called cold pizza.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, I think it's, again, I mean, how do you think they eat pizza in Alaska?
I guess I've severely underestimated
no microwaves in Alaska.
Movement. Y'all's generation, man.
Says the youngest guy on here. Kirby Smart becomes college football's first $13 million man. The Timberwolves knock off the Nuggets in Game 1, and the Bruins beat the Maple Leafs in a Game 7 thriller. And I just got back from Stark Vegas. It's Jake Crane, and welcome to the Monday edition of Crane & Company. Bring your lunch, baby. Now, I was born and raised in a college town, and to me, there's no place better on earth. That's why I was pretty excited for my first trip ever to Starkville, Mississippi, to get some of that college town charm. And while there are people that say Starkville isn't fun or that I wouldn't enjoy it, not only did it have the charm, but it was also an electric place to visit for a home baseball weekend. The dude is incredible. Now, the people were all great. Shout out to my buddy Bart Heitch and the boys. The food was absolutely outstanding, especially in the left field lounge. And Starkville encapsulates 100% of what a great college town should be. See, there's a closeness that we feel to the towns where our favorite college is located, regardless if you were lived there, born there, or not. College athletics is everywhere. But what separates it from the pros is that their locations are not all big cities or sprawling metropolises. There aren't 4 million people trying to squeeze into one place. And everybody pretty much knows each other. And if you don't know anyone, they'll let you grab some food at the tailgate anyway. Now, to me, I think losing that feel because of how much the college game is changing is the true fan's biggest fear. Because once that is gone, it will be pretty much exactly like the professional leagues. And Starkville reminded me a little bit of what Auburn used to be back in the day. Not that it's lost its charm, but I love my hometown. And it's grown vastly compared to when I was there growing up. Every time I go back, it seems to have doubled in size. And to be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if Starkville was on that same trajectory. Just look around at all the construction. And people fall in love with the players who decide to go play in their hometown because it doesn't matter where you're from. You chose to come to our little slice of paradise in the corner, and that makes us family. And now that rosters are more fluid than ever, that bond could be somewhat in jeopardy. But I had an epiphany on the subject this weekend. See, it's not just the closeness of the players to the fans that makes these places. It's everyone. Regardless if you're the left fielder or the fans in the lounge interacting with the left fielder, it's the community that gives these places their charm. From the Stagger Inn all the way to Dave's Dark Horse Tavern, that's where the magic happens, around the field, not just on it. And living in Atlanta and now Nashville for the last 5 years, I don't really get to experience that as much as I did when I was a kid growing up. And going to Starkville was an awesome reminder of that. So while there's legitimate concern for where the game is headed, I left this weekend more convinced than ever that college football towns and communities, they aren't going anywhere. And that it's the people, not just the buildings and not just the plays, that are the secret recipe. I'm bringing my co-host, David Cohn. He's from a college town in Statesboro. Went up to Michigan to play his ball, my brother, Blaine Crane. And guys, look, there's just something about it, man. And it's hard to put it into words. But that's why I think college sports, and particularly college football, is more appealing to me than the NFL. I love football in general. But I tell you, man, it was cozy. It was big. I'm going to be honest, Starkville was bigger and more popping than I even thought. And I'm going to get to the dude when we get to the best and the worst, but there's just something about college towns.
Like you said, I'm from a college town, man. So grateful to be from one. Like the tight-knit community aspect of that is undefeated. And then I went off, like you said, 1,000 miles away from home, left the South to go to Ann Arbor. And again, another college town that was different, you know, and unique, but still that community aspect was so cool. I was this close to going to Mississippi State, to be honest, when Sylvester Croom and Shane Beamer were over there. I think a lot of people are, you know, they have reservations conversations about all this money coming into the sport because they don't want to lose that regional and local feel to college sports. But another thing, that money coming into the communities helps so much. We talked about all the numbers when Nick Saban retired and everything that he did for Tuscaloosa. Now you look, Kirby Smart's now the first $13 million head coach in college football. Big payday for him. I think he's going to do something similar to Athens. That money coming in helps keep the community afloat. It's just, hey, how can you keep it from becoming so corporatized and so globalized that it ends up having a net negative on those communities?
Yeah, that's the line. And look, Auburn still has that charm, but that's why I was laughing. People were like, "Oh, Auburn, paid Cam Newton $180,000 to go there." You know how much money Cam Newton made Auburn? Go look at Auburn before Cam Newton and after Cam Newton. And then you brought up Nick Saban as well. But yeah, it's like a fine line. You want the town to flourish because the town relies on the team, to the college, to be honest. And that's where I think you get that closeness as well. But Blaine, even in the NFL, I feel like the best environments are like in Buffalo and Green Bay, where it's not Atlanta, right, or Los Angeles, where there's so much to do and there's so many people. Not that those places are bad, I'm not saying that, but there's a difference.
Yeah, it feels corporatized, doesn't it? There's something about, and it might be all college sports in general, but there's something about college football, right? Just name me another sport that comes with everything that comes with college football. Tailgating, it's almost like the Masters to me, right? The Masters, it's part of a big thing, but its own little slice. Pimentos and cheese, college football, whether it's 11:30, 7 o'clock at night, you're up in the morning, you're tailgating, you're drinking with buddies, you're eating great food. And it makes you feel as close to the team and the coaches as possible. And once you get past that, you don't feel like you're part of something. You just feel like you're with something.
Yeah.
And being with something and part of something is two completely different feelings. So are we losing that feeling slowly in college football? It feels like to me.
Yeah, well, but then I go back to it was the people that made it this weekend. Yes, the game was good. Yes, Mississippi State handled their business and everybody was excited. But to me, I'm really starting to feel like, having, guys at the tailgate and people walking by and the Starkville Derby and everything that I think that's going to be really tough to lose. The relationship between the players and the fans where, you had a guy that was a 4-star guy that decided to come. He could have gone anywhere. He decided to come to your hometown or your favorite college town. And now guys are moving left and right. Maybe it'll bring the fans even closer together. We may lose a little bit of that bond between the player and the coach, but maybe it'll bring the fans a little bit closer together. So that there's hope there. I left feeling more hopeful after this weekend for the future of college athletics than I thought I was going to be. But speaking of tailgating, all right, and I had pork tenderloin with Italian sausage stuffed with cream cheese, fillets, ribs, deer sausage was incredible. Whatever you're going to put on that grill, it needs to be quality meat. It needs to be meat that's sourced in the United States. And our friends over at Good Ranchers, they got you covered, right? Don't leave for your tailgate without them. And who doesn't love a comeback story, right? Especially when my favorite meat company is bringing back their price lock guarantee. All right, we know how crazy prices are for everything. Very rarely are you able to lock in a price right now. But if you go to goodranchers.com and you use our promo code BOOSTER, you'll get their exclusive price shield and an additional 10% off your order. Now, this is the last week to secure that best price on meat until 2026. That's at goodranchers.com. Use our code BOOSTER. They have tons of different boxes, butcher's box. They've got wild-caught seafood. They've got everything. It is quality. It will never disappoint. Listen, they get it to you. Your job to get it on the grill and make the magic happen, but they make it a hell of a lot easier. It makes you look like a great grill master when you have great ingredients. So goodranchers.com. Use that promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. You get their exclusive price shield and an additional 10% off your order. A fantastic product. All right, make sure you hit that subscribe button. The phone lines are going to open at 7:15 a.m. Central. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the subject? And we got a lot to get to, Blaine.
All right, Chad, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. Get those feet chopping. Let's have a great Monday. We're going to start it off with Michael T. Michael T., what is up, brother? Said, Jake, heard you were in Starkville this weekend. Tell me now, is it an underrated college town?
Vastly underrated.
Yeah.
Incredibly.
And you went outside of football season.
And I went outside of football. Now, baseball's their thing, too. Now, like in Mississippi State, it's funny. I kind of had in my mind, thought it was going to be one way, and I got there, and it was, you know, you look at the college, the stadiums are huge. Like, the hump is really nice. But the dude, this is, and I've got to go check out Baum Walker and Alex Box. I just don't know how you can have a better setup for college baseball. You hear the story of the left field lounge where they used to just back up trucks, and they had the redneck skyboxes and people standing on top of buses. And then the university said, hey, we could probably make a lot of money off this. And they put in, I mean, it was the most legitimate college baseball setup. It looked like a Major League Baseball stadium, to be honest with you, but it had that college feel because you have all these fans that are cooking literally in the outfield. Like, these boxes are set up. Shout out to Box 30, Box 21, Box 65 too, with the Lounge Dog up there. And they are cooking for 9 innings. For 9 innings. They almost had to roll me out of there. But it's again, we went to Dave's Dark Horse Tavern, had some incredible pizza, went to Two Brothers in the Cotton District, which was incredible. The Starkville Derby, which is the biggest wiener dog race in the world.
Wait, did you judge that?
But I didn't judge it. I was there and helped broadcast it.
Okay.
Was an incredible time. They packed it out. My French Bulldog Manny was a celebrity dog. He had a bow tie on. I understand why single guys walk around with dogs. Like, it makes a whole lot of sense.
I need to see a picture of that.
We got tons of pictures that I'm going to put up on social, but it's vastly underrated. People that, and listen, if it's your rival, I get it, right? I understand. But I don't know how you could go there and experience what I experienced and be like, man, that place isn't very fun. I had a blast.
Let's go to Eddie. He wants to know, Jake, Blaine, and David, what's the best college town you've been to?
Well, I've got to say Auburn. Yeah, I've still got to say
Auburn is awesome, man. I got to say. Auburn is pretty great.
I need to go. We need to go on a tour.
It's just like, what do you weigh as an attribute of a college town?
What do you mean? Like
what are the conditions that make a college town?
Well, feel. It can't be,
True.
too big of a
It's obviously.
city. What are their?
It has to be the
food?
main attraction of the town.
That's
You know what I
exactly
mean? Like,
right.
you go to Georgia Tech. I know Georgia Tech has its own little corner, and that's cool, but you're looking at the skyline of Atlanta,
Yeah.
right? Or like you talked about, Los Angeles. I mean, USC's right next to, you go watch the Lakers play or
Yeah.
something. It's different than, say, Athens. I mean, Athens is ananother great college town.
A great.
Yeah, and what makes it unique? Like for Mississippi State, like the baseball was unique to me. Again, I think it's different than anywhere I've ever been. It was. They say it's a love letter to college baseball. It's the Carnegie Hall of college baseball. It really is.
Starkville?
It really is. Like, the dude.
Maybe we should road trip it.
I'm just telling you, it will blow your mind.
People don't. If there's a sport people don't talk about enough, I would say college baseball.
Well,
it's so underrated.
Well, we went to the Stag. It's a sports ball. It's called the sports bar. It's called the Stagger Inn. Right by the stadium, and I was sitting around with
the
and
Stagger
there's a bunch of Mississippi State guys, and that's where you get the best content and stuff to talk about. It's just going and talking with the fellas. And I asked them, I was like, listen, I know college baseball is the thing here, but if I told you right now that you wouldn't win the College World Series for another 20 years, but you would win the national championship in college football, would you take it? They all said yes.
Yeah, how quick.
They all said yes.
All right, let's go to Vale 567. Vale, how are we doing today? Says, what do you think the biggest difference is between pro fans and college football fans?
Well,
good question.
I would say, I think with pro fans, and look, there's some nuance here because, again, Buffalo, right? Buffalo, I know it's up in New York, but this isn't, even, and Detroit's a pretty big city, but there's some Green Bay, where it's a little bit different. I would say probably the biggest difference is there's more of a, I don't want to say love because I know there's some pro fans that absolutely love their teams. But if you're in a city with a pro team, you probably have a professional basketball team. You probably have a professional football team. You probably have an NHL team. Like in Auburn, the state of Alabama, there's no pro team. There's no NFL team in the whole state, let alone in the same city. So I think pro fans can diversify their love because there's more opportunities in different places, as opposed to the college town is solely focused, and all of that energy and hope and want and need is to that one place, and that the pro cities don't run off of the teams. Yes, it helps when the teams are better, but there's conventions there, and there's other ways to fill those hotels. in the college towns, there's more of a need for the team to be good because it helps out the whole town. I just think it's more ingratiated inside of you in a college town because, hey, it's all we got. But damn it, it's all we need.
Well, people move around in their lives more now than they ever have before. So I feel like I've met more and more people over the last couple of years who are fans of professional sports teams, and they've never even lived in the city where that team is. Honestly, more to do with like maybe your dad was a fan of that team or your dad was a fan. I mean, I remember my dad's from near Miami, so I grew up a Dolphins fan. I never even lived in the state of Florida. But for the college aspect of it, I think a lot of these people either aren't from college towns like what we talked about earlier, and then maybe didn't go to a school that necessarily cared so much about college football or college basketball or something like that. Like if you found yourself going to North Carolina, you're probably a college basketball fan.
For sure.
In some capacity. Or
For
another.
sure.
And then betting has changed a lot of this too.
Betting changed.
I mean, you can bet on anything now, but over the last 10 years, you know, a lot of people, I think, gravitated towards professional sports because they're like, hey, I like to bet on all these aspects of the game.
Yeah, and then, you know, obviously college baseball, you're able to bet on that now. It's been huge for the sport as well. But I always love when guys from pro towns or buddies that I had go to a college game and they're just shocked. Like I've had, you know, buddies from LA, from Dallas, from, you know, other places, Seattle, go to some of these college games, like come down to Auburn for an Auburn-Georgia game or something and be like, dude, this is the most insane thing that I have ever seen in my life. Because you don't realize, you know, there was a time where on game days in Auburn, you know, it became like the third biggest city in the state of Alabama just for that day. There's so many people packed into there, and you can really see it. But all right, one more, and then we got to get to best and worst.
All right, let's go to Billy B. Billy, what's up? Since we're talking all this baseball in Starkville, how do we get football on track in Starkville?
Well, here's what I said, and by the way, shout out to Chris Jans, got to talk with him as well. Everybody associated with the athletic department up there, we're absolutely incredible, and Levy too is fantastic. And here's what I was telling them, because talking a little bit with people behind the scenes, you know, they're about 8 to 10 players away right now from Coach Levy feeling good about the amount of depth that they have, and you can acquire more through the transfer portal, but it takes longer to build the culture. What I'm going to tell Mississippi State fans is you've got to be patient with him, right? This is his first head coaching gig, really, and it's obviously in the state of Mississippi where he had coached at Ole Miss before with Lane. He's going to get it right. It's going to be fun to watch these guys on offense. But I think what Coach Levy understands is you can't be a one-trick pony in the SEC and survive. Just look at their rival Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. How has Ole Miss gotten to this point? It's not just through offensively being able to try and outscore everybody. You've got to be able to win in multiple ways. Defensively, they've gotten better. Up front, they've gotten better. That gives you the chance to be able to compete. You don't bridge the gap with the Alabamas and the Georgias and these other teams by just having really good skill players. You've got to be able to be really good up front, and you've got to be able to be good in all three phases. And it takes time to build that. But I think if Mississippi State fans are patient enough with Jeff Lebby, you have to build the foundation before you put the house on it. That's what he's in the process of doing right now. I think they made the right hire. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's just like with a new quarterback, a new coach, there's going to be ups and downs. But if they keep believing in him, they keep pumping money in that thing, and they keep giving him a chance, I'm telling you, Jeff Levy's going to be just fine at Mississippi State. I think the future's bright in Starkville, which means it's bright in the state of Mississippi because you look what Lane is doing over there in Oxford. But your future could be bright, all right? Because you got to look good to feel good. All right, if we're going to be honest. All right, when it comes to clothing, you don't need to sacrifice comfort for style. We want to be great on offense and defense too. And Mack Weldon, they're elite in all three phases. They make timeless apparel with modern performance fabrics for guys who want to look and feel sharp without sacrificing the comfort. David, I mean, we've talked about Mack a ton. You look at the full range of clothes that they have that never go out of style. They got light as air underwear to their anti-odor tees and their Ace Collection, Blaine. It's on another level. I'm a crew neck sweatshirt guy. All right, got a couple of those from Mack Weldon. And Nashville's getting warmer, but the weather's still perfect for the sweatshirt. It's light. It's made from insanely soft microbrust French terry. Y'all know how I like that. That's built to go with everything. But it's a great product, Dave. And
Look, for you taller guys out there, let me just speak directly to you. Go get these pants right now. All right, when you can put on the pants, they fit right off the rack and you don't have to do any alterations to them. That's how you know Mack Weldon is for you.
That's exactly right. It's the return to the Mack. So get timeless looks with modern comfort from Mack Weldon. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off your first order when you use the promo code BOOSTER. I'm going to spell it out for you. MackWeldon.com. use promo code BOOSTER. That's MacWeldon.com with promo code BOOSTER. It feels so good to feel good. It's another one. Write that one down. Oh, by the way, had a couple people come up to me that are fans of the show, and guess what? Before the Derby, they had just taken a shot of, like in the little capsules, Z-Biotics.
Z-Biotics.
It worked.
Yeah,
it genuinely worked.
It worked for me this weekend.
Oh boy, shout out to Gordo. You know what I'm talking about? He was like, dude, this stuff is straight out of Hogwarts. And he's 100% right. All right, let's get to best of.
All right, let's move on. We got NBA playoffs first up here. We've been talking about for the last couple weeks now that the Minnesota Timberwolves could create an interesting series with the Denver Nuggets, given their size and the athleticism of Anthony Edwards. Well, Game 1 certainly showed that. So T-Wolves take Game 1 in Denver, 106-99. Anthony Edwards had 43 points. You know, Jokic had 32 points, but 7 turnovers. Yeah. Game 2 tonight, I don't think we can overstate how important this game is coming up.
No, and look, the Nuggets aren't going to panic, and they shouldn't panic. But the two-headed monster of Cat and Rudy Gobert, you know, 2 years ago, people were like, oh, this isn't going to work, and then it didn't really work, and this year it's really blossomed. But every time I watch Anthony Edwards play, I think Tom Crean is the worst coach. Like, how do you not win with Anthony Edwards at Georgia?
Well, I mean, Rick Barnes didn't win with Kevin Durant.
Pass around. Well, at least he made it to the tournament. Georgia went 16-16. Mm-hmm. This Anthony Edwards cat is different. Like, it's different. Like, everybody, and Ja Morant's incredibly athletic, right? And he's somewhat improving as a shooter. But Anthony Edwards can do everything. He can do everything. And when you look at to be one of the most athletic guys in the NBA as a guard, but it's you mix that with the clutchness. I still like the Nuggets to win the series. I think they come back and win tonight, then go split in Minnesota, and they'll find a way to win it just because that they're a full team and it's hard to beat them in a series. But what the Timberwolves have done, it's incredibly impressive. I mean, it's incredibly impressive. And if somehow the Timberwolves sneak by the Nuggets here, and Porzingis isn't healthy for the Celtics, right? And we'll see what happens with the Celtic Knicks. This is a team that could win it. Like the T-Wolves could legitimately win it. It's just getting past Denver is going to be the toughest part, even though you're up 1-0.
What do you think?
Well, I think when you talk about Anthony Edwards, there's two type of dudes, right? And I think why people are so drawn to Anthony Edwards, there's the guys who you're about to get in fights who said they're about to punch you in the face, and then there's guys who just get up there and punch you in the face. Mm-hmm. And that's who Anthony Edwards is. Mm-hmm. He's coming for all of it, and he wants it. He wants his money. He wants it now. His favorite player was Kevin Durant, right? And he told Kevin Durant, I'm coming for you every single game. And you need that right now in the new NBA. But I will tell you this, the first stat I look at when it comes to the Nuggets games, the rebounds. That's what, I mean, the Nuggets got their ass kicked on the boards. And if you can, look, Jokic might have had 32, but it was a quiet. It was a quiet 32. And if you're the Timberwolves, is that what you need? And you're going to have to drop almost a 40-piece every night.
Well, that's the
every
thing.
Night.
Like, it wasn't luck. The reason the T was. If you're a Nuggets fan, that's the thing that should concern you the most. The Heat beat the Celtics in one game because they hit 23 three-pointers. That was an anomaly. That wasn't going to happen again. The T-Wolves didn't do anything spectacular outside of Anthony Edwards' individual performance, and you're going to get that a lot. I mean, that's something that you're going to see happen. But the physicality, which is the biggest shift, I think, for the T-Wolves, they've gone from a team that I thought was had a little bit of Charmin Ultra in them to now, I mean, they're tough as hell. So, again, and the T-Wolves won by 7. Like, they didn't hit some half-court shot to win by 1. So I think you're going to see a Nuggets team that always, I think, plays with urgency, but I think you're going to see that sense of urgency shot up through the roof today. And don't be shocked if you see somebody like a Caldwell Pope or somebody on the periphery go off tonight for the Nuggets with Jamal and with Jokic. But this series, I mean, it's going to be physical now. You watch it. This isn't for the faint of heart.
Well, in a sport where the best athlete on the court can dictate the outcome of a series like basketball, the way Anthony Edwards is playing this postseason, I do agree with you. I think the Timberwolves could win the championship. If they don't, though, let's say, I mean, they fight really hard, but the Nuggets win this in 6 or even 7. What happens to the Timberwolves after this? I mean, is this makeup of the team right now, is this their identity moving forward? Or is the Cat and Rudy Gobert, this Twin Towers approach, is this more of an experiment and we need to rethink this next year if we can't get by Denver? Like, what do you think they'll do?
I think it was an experiment, but, just ask Thomas Edison, sometimes experiments work out.
And make you famous.
Yeah, they asked him, it took him 1,000 attempts to make the light bulb, and they said, you failed this many times. He said, no, I didn't fail. I just found 999 ways not to make a light bulb. Well, in the past, the Minnesota Timberwolves have found out 999 ways not to be able to have a legitimate title contending team. Well, you put these two guys together, you add Anthony Edwards, which has lifted everybody else's play. Well, you just figured out that this is your light bulb. This is the recipe. This is the formula, right? The head coach believed in it, even when it wasn't super popular the year before. Don't go dance with the one that brought you, right? Now it's how can we continue to build the machine around this? This is our identity. This is who we are, right? My name's Minnesota. I identify as a tough-ass team with two bigs and a great guard around them. Now you build the rest of that team around it. So I think this is an experiment that worked out, an experiment that they were very consistent on and bullish on, and this is how you do it, right? And if you're Minnesota, like we talk about Detroit and they come up for the Lions, Twins, saw what they did in the postseason last year, breaking that streak. The T-Wolves are for real. I mean, it's not a bad situation going on in Minnesota.
Well, we'll get game 2 tonight. That line is -5.5 Denver right now. We'll also get game 1 of Knicks and Pacers. That series starts in New York. And then last night, the Cavs closed out the Magic in 7 games.
I loved betting the Cavs Magic series. You just take the home team. That's the way that one worked out. Yeah. I like the Knicks big tonight. The Pacers have struggled on the road. Go back and look at the Bucks game, Bucks series. Even with the Bucks hurt, that was kind of ping-ponging back and forth depending on who was at home. But the Garden is going to be insane tonight. Insane tonight. Look, I like Siakam. I like Halliburton. The Pacers are kind of built themselves, from who they drafted, which I always respect. But I like the Knicks big tonight.
Talking about the Garden, let's go to the NHL. Rangers 4-3. Hurricanes. Stars over the Golden Knights. Closed that one out in 7. Fought back. And then, of course, Bruins over the Maple Leafs. Game 7 thriller in overtime.
NHL playoffs, man. It's like Papa John. Most of the time it's going to deliver. And you look at that Bruins Leafs. I hope Kirk's all right up in Canada. What did our audio guys say? If the Maple Leafs don't win the Stanley Cup in the next 5 years, their name's going to be off the Stanley Cup because it's been that long. But you knew that series was going to be nuts. The Bruins find a way in Game 7 to win it, low-scoring game, 2-1. And then you look at the Rangers, and it's that series is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It is.
It's going to be tight all the way through. That may be another one where it's just home wins. But I tell you, the NHL playoffs, man, they keep delivering, and there's more great matchups coming down the road. And the Golden Knights, they won theirs last year. Take a bow this year. I'm just looking over at the Panthers. I tell you, I like what I see.
This sometimes
had 2 goals last night.
Did he have 2? I know he had at least one. I believe
2.
Zibanejad's
2 and an assist.
My most
I just
favorite.
wonder, I just think about how the day is the next day. If you have someone's filming Kirk or someone's filming Brian from Boston.
Oh, Brian's calling in today.
Polar opposite the days are. Just how shit it must be for Kirk and how great it must be.
That's the sports, man. That's sports.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Sometimes, you show up to the ball in a carriage, and sometimes you don't show up to the ball because you didn't get invited because you're the ugly stepsister. Now you got to watch everybody else.
God, hideous.
Like I felt after we lost to Yale.
Tonight, Game 1, Panthers hosting the Bruins. Should be fun.
Yeah, I like the Panthers in that one. I think it's going to be a low-scoring series.
We'll see.
All right, let's get to best and worst real quick.
All right, what you guys got?
I'm going to say best. Kyle Larson in NASCAR. Closest finish ever. I believe we have a picture of how. Let's go ahead and roll this clip. Look how tight this one is. This was in Kansas. You got your money's worth, right? You got your money's worth. Kyle Larson's able to win by a nose, by the hair of his chinny chin chin. Let's roll this clip. I mean, we're trading.
And they come out outside, and they come out.
We're trading. Look how tight this is.
Hold on.
Right there.
That's the finish?
It's, I don't think.
Tie.
It never.
Tie.
No, Lars, that's a dub. That's a dub. Closest finish ever in NASCAR history, I believe.
Wow.
Just an absolute thriller at the end. And look, we don't talk a ton of NASCAR here. We talk it when something like this happens. But, if you're keeping up with this at home and you watched this one last night instead of maybe the roast of Tom Brady, which is fantastic as well, you got every dime worth of watching this race. And
that's not.
They're too scared to mess up a review at NASCAR. They're too scared to do it.
You mean like to overturn one?
Yeah. They're too scared to do it. The fans in NASCAR, they'll burn it down.
Yeah.
They will find you.
It look like Columbia.
This is not like football or basketball where they go to review and still miss it. You go to review and miss a NASCAR, they'll show up with pitchforks in front of your house and torches.
Well, I guess it was the weekend of photo finishes because bring up the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Bring up Mystic Dan winning the Kentucky Derby by literally a nose.
Hey, Blaine, you all right over there?
Play this. Play this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that.
Dude.
That's literally by a nostril.
What is up with this weekend in racing?
You have the overhead view of this, and it was down to 3 horses here.
I actually watched the stretch of this live.
Yeah, this was great. I had so much fun.
I took Fierceness. That one didn't pay off so much.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the overhead? Look at that.
Dude, that's insane.
Weekend of photo finishes.
Yeah, that is
what,
insane.
what did you have, Blaine?
Okay. I guess I'll do my worst.
You got a sure thing, huh?
Yeah,
I guess I'll do my worst. You know, love betting the Derby.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to bet. Favorite things to watch. Had a buddy. Called
Had
me.
a buddy.
This is how
Had a buddy.
Had a buddy.
Yeah,
Look,
no
most of the time when I bet the Derby, I'll just pick one odds-wise, a name I like,
Yeah.
and I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Had a buddy call me morning of the Derby, just gassing me up about a horse. I'm talking about research, looked into his trainer, was telling me his trainer got caught for doping a horse here, but then he was here. So
Oh, my God.
He's in a great spot in the race.
Works
A
for
lot of
Balco.
people are talking about him, and not only did I hop on the bet, but about 4 other of my buddies.
Oh, it was a squad ride.
Squad ride. We squad rid. And there's a difference between
You love that.
losing and just being the worst possible horse. I'm not for animal violence. Okay?
Okay, Christy, no.
I'm not.
Calm down.
I'm not, but, you know, if something happened to the horse after this race, I wouldn't be
So
surprised.
it finished
Not only didn't come close, it was the worst. It finished last in the whole race. It finished. The bet didn't just not hit.
It was Vic, wasn't it?
It was Vic.
Oh, see, that's what you can't
finished
trust
last.
Vic.
Backed me up for an hour
He's
and
the
a half.
worst
took an
sports
hour and
bettor
a half
ever.
Out of my day. Called me. He's at work. You're a lawyer. Called me to convince me to bet this horse. And not only did it lose, they just found it on the side of the road. On the side, they just needed somebody. They're like, you. Yeah, you.
That's what a horse is.
Next
You.
time he feels so strongly about a horse or any bet, let me know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, never again.
I need to fade
No,
that.
look,
learn my
listen,
lesson.
it's
not your fault.
It's fade Vic. It
is Fade Vic.
It's fade Vic. I'm going to say my worst. Dana White only getting 60 seconds for the Netflix roast of Tom Brady. He had some things to say about it. I will say the roast overall was hilarious. Tony Hinchcliffe saying that Tom Brady's so afraid of the Giants, he got Kevin Hart to host the roast is one of the best jokes that I've ever heard. And Tony also said that he was glad that Gronk took time away from writing letters to Santa Claus to be there tonight. Was absolutely killer. I thought it was a great roast. But there is a clip that I've got to put up here. Canada. All right, this is in Toronto.
Oh, Kirk's catching strays.
You guys got it. Y'all are going down a dark, but y'all are going to be able to get invaded by a group of kindergartners and lose if y'all keep up at this rate. Here's the rules at this baseball field.
This is at a baseball field?
This is at a baseball field. And it says public must respect the following. 1, use of hard balls is not permitted. 2,
It's a baseball field?
aluminum bats are not permitted. And you know what? Those first 2, all right.
How do you play baseball
You know,
without a hard ball?
if they're young enough.
Keanu
okay.
Reeves made a whole movie about it.
Number 3, though, here's where it goes off the rails. Competitive high-level play is not allowed.
Oh, can't have
Number
that.
4, home runs are not allowed. Number 5, underhand pitching only. All right, number 6, balls must remain in the park area. I get that. Number 7, no alcohol. I get it. But number 3, number 4, and number 5 is the reason why you guys are in big, big trouble. Y'all going to start trying to beat people in the Army by blowing bubbles at them. Y'all need a renaissance, man. Y'all need a renaissance, and it's everywhere. So Canada, this is, to me, I'm not an advocate of taking down public signs, but I would go straight with a Phillip head screwdriver and find a way to take that thing out. Y'all, go look at what China's doing right now. Look at those kindergartners. All right, they're swinging golf clubs and dribbling basketballs and figuring out how microchips and cruise missiles are built. Y'all over here worried about competitive high plays not allowed?
What constitutes competitive high-level play?
Caring?
I was competitively campaigning for Justin Trudeau.
That's what, that's like caring.
In China, you're not allowed to be 10 years old and not know how to throw a slider.
That's exactly right.
Like, would China's rules be the exact opposite?
Oh,
like competitive high-level play mandatory, the hardest balls possible, aluminum bats, like the newest aluminum.
The only ones that would still be there is number 6, because it's a communist country. You don't take any of the balls home. They're not yours. And number 7, because alcohol is not good for you.
We're only drinking water.
We're only drinking smart water. Like, they have smart water in their water fountains. Not just water. There's smart water in there. But Canada, gross. Y'all are going to get y'all's ass kicked. By, I mean, y'all are going to have somebody go in there with a can of Vienna sausages and whip y'all's ass.
Look, don't underplay Vienna sausages.
Well, just
Gas.
Gas?
Gas.
Vienna sausage.
Hey,
you won't eat.
I don't want to hear it.
Scrapple.
I don't want to hear it. Sardine.
You won't eat scrapple because of the name, but Vienna sausage.
Vienna sausages.
Yeah, it's gas.
With mustard on saltine crackers.
I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm just saying there's a little
You want to go hunt and eat some Vienna sausage?
Not bad.
Anyway, I need to change my worst of the weekend now after hearing that. Worst. College football personalities list. Bring up the personalities list.
Yeah.
I'm looking and I'm not a liking.
Yeah, this is college football.
Lee Corso's one
college football
list.
This is a college football list?
This is one of those lists where you just make it as bad as possible.
Where are the boys?
Well, we do more than just college football. So I will say I can understand, but like Pat McAfee does too. Like this
so
list.
does McAfee.
I don't know how like that's like the people. How's Lee Corso won?
Listen, I got a ton of respect for Lee Corso.
Okay, cool, that's fine, but it's just like he's not the greatest personality right in 2024.
No,
he barely knows who he is. It's like people who vote for Biden.
Like if you're the college football report, now you can no longer be taken serious.
Gus Johnson.
Like your account sucks now because this is why you don't. This is why you just put what really you think. You don't just make these lists to try and now all the clicks that you get, nobody's going to actually think you know what you're talking about. They're just going to laugh and point and make fun of you. It's like the fat kid doing the shuffle truffle on the playground. That's the only way he can get people to like him is by embarrassing himself, and that's what you've done. So I think you lost a follow from a lot of people.
You're making this list, and you get to 8, and you think, yeah, Robert Griffin III's next. Robert Griffin.
It's again that you can't take this person seriously.
Well, it's not like what does Reese Davis do?
What? I can understand Reese Davis.
I love Reese.
I can understand Reese Davis.
I love Reese.
But
you got Holly Rowe at 18 and Molly McGrath at 17?
Well, those are.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just, it's not true.
It's almost, that's not even a personality.
Who is Dan
You're just
Katz?
a sideline reporter.
Who is Dan Katz?
I know who Dan Katz is.
That's from, Pardon My Take.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Tim Brando, I get it.
Tim Brando. No, some like
I guess we do have representation with Timmy B on there.
No, again, this list sucks, and nobody should take you serious again. Delete your account. You're now fraudulent.
That's tough.
All right, I have 2 other worsts here. Bring up my next worst. These protests going on across every college campus. This is Michigan here during graduation. Play this for a second. This is commencement. Can we just graduate?
Here's what I think. You know what? How about this? Everybody who wants to protest it, let's get a plane or a bus and let's fly y'all over there and you can't come back.
Where the action's happening. That's where the protest
Yeah, let's see. Let's see how much. Here's what I literally think they want. I think some of these, I think it's multifactorial. One, I think a lot of these guys at these protests really don't understand what they're protesting. They're just trying to get laid. That's what I think they're doing. I think that happens in a lot of protests.
Get laid with ugly chicks.
Well, listen, if you got to get what you got to get, right? Right? If they're just throwing, they're just throwing old bread out there, you got to do what you got to do. The second thing is, I think some of these people's parents were alive during Vietnam or alive during the Civil Rights Movement. And oppression is so low nowadays, they're not going to have their Vietnam moment. All those stories their parents told them about and things like that, they're not going to get that. So they've got to go try and create it. They're LARPing, right? That's why you see these people like, we need food at Columbia, but it needs to be vegan free. What y'all need to do is get y'all's ass out of here. That's what I think. LARPing is like on role models. Like when they dress up like medieval times.
Yeah.
Live action role playing.
Live action, yeah.
It's live action role playing. And then you have the people whose parents aren't like that, who went to college and they just got totally brainwashed and don't really understand.
I like that. That's good.
I think nowadays, like, oppression is a crutch for the talentless. Let me make an excuse of why my life didn't work out. Oh, it must be somebody else's fault from 300 years ago.
Well, we lived through COVID. Is that not enough? Like, we made it through that.
Look.
Hey, at least at Ole Miss, they're singing the national.
Oh, that's shit.
You see this at Ole Miss?
Yeah, let's play it. You come down here with it.
Yet wave. Ole Miss is getting it.
Look, it's.
I mean, how many national championships has Palestine won?
Yeah, it's exactly.
honest.
Listen,
How many SEC championships?
Listen. Communism had never had to play an SEC schedule, buddy. That's a totally different
Let's see a communist go play tackle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why, you want to know why I'm not worried? That's why I'm not worried, buddy.
I had one more worst of the weekend. My buddy Obieze, teammate of mine at the University of Michigan, passed away. So thoughts and prayers to his family out there. He was in my class, not just a teammate, but it's different when the guys come in together, right?
Yeah.
And it was freshman All-American at the University of Michigan. Great guy, great player. Died over the weekend. So prayers to his family.
Yeah, condolences to everybody involved there. So let's get to the Booster Club real quick. Phone lines are opening here.
Yeah, quickly, my best of the weekend, Caitlin Clark.
What'd she do?
Dropped 21 points in her debut. She's about to cook.
Nice.
She's about to cook. All the ladies in the WA was talking all this crap. Caitlin's not going to be able to do this because she's about to cook all y'all.
Yeah.
20-piece in her first game.
Who'd she play against?
Shit, I don't know. I know she plays for the Fever, and she scored 21 points in her first game.
So do you like it with the WNBA, like how quickly after they get drafted that they're already playing professionally? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like
listen, when I see the marinated steak, I want to see how quickly you can get it off that grill.
Doesn't that happen in hockey too? I feel like guys get drafted in hockey, and the next week they're playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, it's not like the NFL where now we're like, all right, wait. We'll see for this 4th or 5th draft pick. All right, the phone line's open here in 4 minutes. Going to get to Boost Club in 1 second. But if you're starting a podcast or you're starting a business, I get people asking me this all the time. Hey, how can I run an online storefront? Or is there a commerce platform out there that can help me at every stage of my business? Shopify is that platform. You've got enough to worry about when you're starting a business, this, that, or the other. These guys can really take a lot off your plate. They're incredibly efficient. And you can, anything from the ground up, right, to did we just hit our millionth order? Our marketing team uses Shopify every day to sell our merchandise. We love how easy it is. We let them handle their business to help our business. And when you hear this noise, we getting rich, y'all. That means you made another sale. No matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. So sign up for a $1 per month trial at shopify.com/CRAIN. That's all lowercase. That's SHOPIFY.com/CRAIN. Do it right now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. That's shopify.com/Crane. Also, we're going to put the link for our merch into the chat. It helps out the show. Go grab you a hoodie. Go grab you a candle. Go grab you a baseball bat. We got some stuff that we're going to be adding as well. We're really excited to announce some of that coming up. So make sure you go and check that out at shopify.com/CRAIN. All lowercase. Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Jareed Atkinson. What's up, Jareed? He said, terrible list, fellas. Oh, my God. Corso at 1 is probably criminal.
Yeah, no, like again, nobody can take you seriously. You screwed yourself. I know that account's been around before. I haven't seen any of their other lists. But now going forward, and this is the problem with guys that make these, they're like, hey, I see these guys making these clickbait lists, right? If I do that, maybe I'll get a lot of likes, right? Because again, if you really believe this, then I'm more worried about you than I was before. I am hoping the best part of this is maybe that you were trying to clickbait it, but you screw yourself going forward. It's like me coming out and say Vanderbilt's going to win the SEC in football this year. Yeah, that one video may get a lot of likes, it may get a lot of clicks, but it's also going to just destroy my credibility. And now yours is destroyed. It's just the truth.
Let's go to James_Infield21. Said, loving the show, fellas. The Wolves haven't been good since I was in middle school. How far can we go?
Again, if you get past the Nuggets, I think you can win it. But the problem is you got to get past the Nuggets.
You see the way Anthony Edwards is playing?
No, look, again, it's more viable now than I can ever remember it being. All right, one more, and then we got to get to a little Kirby Smart action.
Let's go to Deltona, Doug. Hashtag #AskCrane&Co. Loving the content, loving the show so far. You're talking in Mississippi State baseball. LSU baseball is getting hot. What kind of run could you see them making?
Well, it's just like any sport that has a playoff, or really any sport in general, as long as you're going to qualify for the postseason. You want to be playing your best ball at the end of the year. It was a slow start for LSU, but they are too talented to not be good. Like at some point, you were gonna break the seal on LSU figuring it out. And there is nothing more frightening than a hot LSU team heading into the postseason. Not only that, a team that has had to deal with some adversity through half the season, the way it started, and now you see them, they're really starting to cook. And Mississippi State's starting to cook too. Now, you look at the way Mississippi State's schedule started out. I mean, they had kind of murderer's row opening this bad boy up. Now, they do go to Fayetteville this next weekend, which is not a walk amongst the tulips. But LSU is scary when they get hot. We know how talented they are. They got Major League Baseball players up and down that roster. Remember, if you donate, we will read it. If it's on topic. If not, we'll read it at the end. Get those donations in. But, David, I don't think Kirby Smart's going to need any donations.
Georgia's Kirby Smart has received a new 10-year, $130 million deal. It was approved by the university on Thursday at the annual Athletics Board of Directors meeting. So this deal makes Kirby Smart not only the highest paid college football coach in the country, but also the first $13 million coach. Now, he was scheduled to earn $10.75 this year under the old contract, so that'll go to $13 now. And he also has incentives that could be worth up to $1.5 million for the upcoming season.
I still think he's underpaid. And it's going to be damn near impossible to replicate what Nick Saban did at Alabama for many reasons. Number one, it's just hard. Number two, the game is changing. It seems like and evolving in different ways where it's hard to kind of nail it down. Not saying that somebody can't do it, but if there's anybody out there that can maybe get close, or, I mean, it's one, you look at what Georgia's done, I mean, the past, 3-4 years, it's Kirby Smart. Like, he is the protege. He is the chosen one. It didn't end up being Will Muschamp, talking about with Nick Saban. Didn't end up being Jeremy Pruitt, right? It ended up being Kirby Smart. And I'm not a lifetime contract guy 99.9% of the times. I think lifetime contracts are stupid. But if there is anybody out there that deserves a lifetime contract right now, right, it is Kirby Smart. Because Georgia, this is not going away.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going anywhere. And stability mixed with the resources and support at a place like Georgia, in a place like Athens, is worth its weight in gold. Now, the question becomes, does he have that Nick Saban clause in his contract, which makes it mandatory for him to be the highest paid college football coach in the country? So if somebody tomorrow says, we're paying our coach 13.1, well, Kirby's now got to get 13.101.
Mm-hmm.
And I always said Nick Saban and Kirby Smart could have gamed the whole system if they both had that clause, because then they would have just kept stacking. Well, you got more, now I got more. You got more, now I got more. You got more, until you just make $1 trillion, which is probably about right.
Well, they have a very legitimate shot to win the national championship this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if that clause were to get added in. And one of the most underrated aspects of this is Kirby Smart is not one of those guys, I believe, who wants to coach in the NFL.
I don't think he does either.
He won back-to-back national championships, and then the guy who won the championship this year, Jim Harbaugh, has already left for the NFL. Wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that Ryan Day possibly wants to try his hand in the NFL one day, or even Lincoln Riley, or even Steve Sarkisian returning back to the NFL level. Kirby Smart, to me, seems like he's going to be in college moving forward year after year, and they're just getting the train started.
Well, if you're Kirby, it's where you played. Now, that's mama.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now you're in charge of, mama's old. Now you're in charge of, she's living with you, right? You get to take care of her, but nobody can take care of mama like you can. Number two, you have all the power. You answer to nobody. The AD, the president of the school, I'm going to tell you something. Just like Nick Saban ran Tuscaloosa, Kirby Smart's more important than the mayor. He's more important than any politician that can show up. He's more important than any performer or anything like that. You have all the power. It runs through you. And you've proven yourself to be worthy of deserving that power. So now you can move all the pieces. You are the king. You are the king. It is I don't want to use dictatorship, but it is a autocracy. It's you got it. It's you. It runs through Kirby. Something happens, they're letting you know. You want this? Coach will take care of it. Hey, we need some more money for this? Coach will take care of it. Why would you to go where? To the Falcons? Where I got to answer to some dumbass GM that wants to take a quarterback at 8 when we just paid Kirk Cousins a guaranteed $100 million for 3 years? Or I have to talk to Arthur Blank, right? Who he's got, you want to talk about $13 million? He wipes his ass with $13 million. So if I'm Kirby, I'm not going anywhere.
I don't know if there's a coach more important to a team.
I don't think you're wrong.
Not only Kirby Smart a great coach, he's a great leader, right? I've never heard of really anything bad about Kirby Smart in the news. You see clippings of Kirby Smart. Kirby's not one of those guys. He's not going to finesse you to get here.
No,
he's not. He's going to tell you exactly what you need to do. All right, what you're getting, what he'll take care of. Like Kirby is the picture perfect image of a college coach.
He's a 5-tool. He's a legitimate 5-tool coach.
There's not a guy right now with Saban out of college football whose bag's deeper than Kirby Smart.
And you're in Georgia, which I will die
best
saying
athlete.
The state of Georgia per
Best
capita
athletes.
has the best high school athletes in the 3 major sports. Not just football.
I agree.
Basically, yeah, you're from Statesboro.
Yeah.
I'm from Lee County. Hell, it's basically Georgia. I mean, I could, take a whiz on Phoenix City from where or from
Please
Columbus,
don't.
where I'm at.
Please
I
don't.
won't. Shout out Josh Pate. But which we got some great content coming up with Josh Pate. You guys are going to love that. We're going to probably put it in 2 parts. But no, Kirby's we hear 5-tool baseball player, right? We hear that. Oh, he can hit, he can run, he can field. He's a good leader. Hell, he could probably pitch if he has to. Kirby can recruit as good as anybody in the country.
Get him there.
You're at a place that you can build the mega ranger. He's already doing it, right? Speaking of Athens, he's unbelievably knowledgeable when it comes to schematics. And to know defense, you got to know offense. You're not going to trick him. Number 4, he's going to work harder than anybody, regardless of how much success he has. One thing that made Saban incredible and what made Brian Harsin a joke at Auburn. And then number 5, he knows how to hire guys. Right? That's a huge quality of a head coach that knows, hey, I'm not just the defensive guy. I'm not just the offensive guy. I am the head coach for everyone. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes Kirby so dangerous and why this has lasting power. Like you better get ready. How old's Kirby? 50? 50?
I don't think he's 50 yet.
He's 50. He's 50-something, I would think. What was he, 52?
48.
He's 48.
Yeah,
You better strap in.
yet.
This dude may be here till he's 80. Because you were talking about have to have it. He has to have it. And he has it right now.
All right, boys, the phone lines are full.
Let's get to it.
Let's do it. All right, let's go to Braden in Georgia. Braden, let's set the tone for the week right
Come on,
here.
Braden. Bring the heat
Braden.
early. Let's go.
Hey, boys, I just want to start out with a roll tide on this beautiful Monday morning.
All right, that's Braden.
Braden.
Hey, listen, man, long-time listener, first-time caller. Love
Appreciate
listening to you guys. First listen in the morning.
Hey, appreciate
I'm calling
that.
in to talk about some Alabama football. I'm 23, so I live in Georgia now, but I was born and raised in Alabama until about 2007. So all I've known is Nick Saban.
And winning.
And, winning a lot. So I got home from school. I go to Georgia Southern. And shout out Cone. I got home from school. I took a nap. I woke up to the news. Boys, I was devastated. But I think we got a good hire with Kalen DeBoer. I am a little worried. He doesn't really have Southern ties or Southern roots. But I've been thinking about this. I want to get your guys' opinion. I feel like his best chance to win a national title is maybe his first 2 years while he still has Saban's foundation, some of Saban's guys, some of Saban's leaders that Saban had while he was there, like Jalen Milroe. What do you think his best chance to win a national championship is in his first 2 years, first 2 to 3 years?
Man, that's a great, Braden, that's a great thought. And to your Jalen Milroe point, number 1, because there's a couple things there. Having that, not only a quarterback that is proven, say what you want about Jalen Milroe, they won a lot of games with Jalen Milroe at quarterback last year. He's played an SEC schedule, and he has the locker room. And when you have not only it's not just an on-the-field thing. I think that's where people get, it's great to have Jalen Milroe on the field. Duh, obvious. He's going to make everything better. But off the field, during the transition of power, right? When do we see most things break? Whether it's countries, whether you go back in the day and see kings and dynasties, it's when the transition of power happens, right? So having somebody there that can ease that transition of power and keep the eyes and the focus of the players, because at the end of the day, the players are the most important part of the team. Kalen DeBoer's not going to throw a pass. He's not going to catch a pass. He's not going to make a tackle. What I think you're going to find, and I don't want to limit Kalen DeBoer to, his best chance is going to be in the first couple years. That may be true because he can live off a little bit of what Saban did. And when you think of Alabama, you still think of Nick Saban, even though Kalen DeBoer is there, right, Braden? You still think of Nick Saban at the end of the day.
Right.
I think Kalen DeBoer's got to find that honey hole of he's like the son taking over for the father that built it. You know, what do they say when we went to France? They told us that when it comes like King Henry and all them, the first one builds it, the second one enjoys it, and the third one destroys it. That's typically how it goes. So I think Kalen DeBoer can live off what Saban has done and built and the cachet that Alabama's added already on top of what they had even before Saban was there with Bear Bryant. But he's got to find a way to be able to keep that and also have his own imprint on it, Braden. He can't just try and be Nick Saban. You can't do that because you're not Nick Saban. That doesn't mean you can't have success, but will Alabama fans settle for being championship worthy every 2 to 3 years as opposed to every year? I think that's going to be the biggest hump to get over. I'm not going to put a limit on Kalen DeBoer. He's won everywhere he's been. And we say this all the time. When you show me who you are enough, eventually I'm going to start to believe you. But anybody that thinks that, number one, it's fair, or number two, it's likely that Kalen DeBoer is going to be able to recreate what Nick Saban did is selling themselves a pipe dream. That doesn't mean the standard shouldn't stay as high as it is, Braden. It should. But that's a really tough thing to pull off. And that's what makes it so fascinating. Can he do it his own way?
Well, when I see the standard in Nebraska and in College Station for Texas A&M is still national championships, I know the standard for Alabama
without a doubt,
and
it should be
anywhere. And the answer to Braden's question, I think, will depend on how effectively they can utilize Jalen Monroe's skill sets, because the rest of the team, like we just talked about last week, is still 20% five-star recruits.
Yep.
Not that being a five-star recruit necessarily makes you a great football player, but it's a good starting point because Nick Saban did recruit so well these past couple seasons. But when you look at the type of quarterback that Kalen DeBoer and that staff has utilized over the past couple seasons, I mean, Michael Penix Jr. is throwing the ball 45 times a game, like NFL arm. Even back when they were coaching Jake Haener and some of those other guys. So it's like, how are they going to utilize Jalen Monroe? Is it going to be utilizing his legs a little bit more? Or can Jalen Monroe even take a step just in terms of being a pure pocket passer and be a little bit more like Michael Penix?
Yeah, well, remember when we were down the Senior Bowl, we asked Coach DeBoer this, and he said, I am going to adjust my system to my personnel.
Which is the right answer.
Which is
and
exactly the right answer.
That's fine to say that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm just saying, when it's 3rd and 4 and you need it and you've been wanting to throw spacing concepts, but now you're like, well, should we run Jalen Monroe on sprint right option?
An RPO.
That's when we'll know.
Yeah, wait.
Say it.
I agree with that 100%. So, Braden, look, it's going to be interesting. I will say the smartest thing Kalen DeBoer did was, and I know Ryan Grubb's gone. That's the biggest question mark to me, because the guy who drove the car on offense, that was Ryan Grubb. But you hired Nick Sheridan, a guy we have a ton of respect for, a guy you know really well. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I hope Nick does well, as kind of, combative as that is to my beliefs. But as far as what Kalen DeBoer does, one of the smartest things he did was keeping a lot of that defensive staff intact, keeping Freddie Roach there, who I think's maybe he's a top 3 D-line coach, defensive coach in the country, assistant, not just because of recruiting. But Kane Womack, getting him from South Alabama, right? And I think it was a smart business decision from Kane. I think he'll be a head coach in an even bigger place than South here in the next couple of years. But, Braden, it's going to be fun to watch, man. It was fun to talk to you. You got to call in.
National championship, Blaine? 2 years?
No.
No?
No.
5 years.
Hey, Blaine.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
I will say, even though Nick's gone, Kalen's coming, and hell's coming with him.
All right.
Hey, Braden, we appreciate it. Braden. Call in again, my friend. Thanks for
I'll be your Huckleberry. Hey, Braden, and also go do us one favor. All right, we ask a small favor.
What's up?
Go to Fordham's Farmhouse for lunch today so that we can live vicariously through you. Can you do that?
I got you guys.
Hey, Braden, make sure you call in when y'all lose to Wisconsin on the road.
I can't believe
See you, bud.
Oh, great call.
Hey, I've been to a lot of Alabama games, and I've never seen them lose until January 1st. I was at the Rose Bowl, and my heart was shattered into
Who'd they lose to in that
So
one?
thank you,
Yeah.
Colin.
Yeah.
Wow, Braden, what a thing to say.
But what a high-class problem.
I was born and then watch us lose the next week.
Yeah, we lost to New Mexico
born in the
State.
dark.
Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing.
Thanks,
Great call, Braden.
All right, let's go to
See you, bud.
Kinsey in Missouri. Kinsey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Kenzie,
What's up,
good to hear
Kenzie? How
from
we
you
doing?
again.
So I have to ask you guys because I'm sure you're the experts on all sports. I've always been more of a football girl, obviously, but my mom convinced me to give the NBA a try.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've always been more of a college basketball girl, but man, the T-Wolves actually play defense, so it makes it palatable.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say I'm 5-0 as an NBA fan, so I'm doing all right.
Maybe it's you.
Wow.
Kenzie is it.
Wow.
Who'd have thought a girl
Yeah.
from Missouri would be the beacon of light for the Minnesota
The
Timberwolves?
Timberwolves. Wow.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I just was like, all right, well, I mean, I grew up in South Dakota, so,
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha. Well, yeah, congrats. You want to talk about cold. They may have South in the first name, but there's nothing warm about it.
So I have a question for you guys because, I do understand the difference between men and women. So I think that, as a woman, I feel like I'm maybe a little more like, oh, I don't like the whole taunting thing or like whatever. Okay, seriously though, was that actually taunting on Anthony Edwards? Like, he didn't say any, like, is the stare down really something we're calling as taunting now? Like, is that really? I need some help here because I was watching that and I was like, I've been a fan for 5 games. I don't think I was biased or anything crazy like that. But like, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're calling taunting these days?
So
I gotta get your opinion.
yeah, Kenzie, I think a lot of it depends on obviously which officiating crew is doing the game. Some guys will let the flow of the game happen more, but it seems to me, and this isn't just in the NBA, but the stare down has become a taunt in football. You hit a guy, you stand over him, you stare at him, they're throwing it. Like it's. I think as sad as that, and like I think we got to understand the difference. If I'm staring you down as I'm running back to the other end of the court, I think that's
You went and got in his face a little bit.
that you get up
went
in
and got in his
somebody's.
face a
You
little.
look like Muhammad Ali, standing over a guy or getting up in a guy's face. At some point, the referee, because that is as a man, like that is, you're trying to control the game as an official. So if you're staring a guy down, standing over a guy, getting in a guy's face, that is a straight threat to the manhood of the other person. So if there's going to be any retaliation, you come get in my face and stare me down. We got a problem. I would rather you be talking ish backing up, and like talking ish going down the other end of the court, like Anthony Edwards did to Kevin Durant. Keep calling him an old ass man running around the court. But I will say, Kenzie, as far as an NBA fan, there is a huge difference between the way they play in the playoffs and the way they play in the regular season. You are seeing the full makeup, caked up Friday night version of the NBA. So enjoy it, but no, it's not always like this.
No.
That's one of the biggest gripes.
I can't wait to hear this.
You can always tell in the NBA when they start caring.
Yeah.
They're playing because they actually start playing defense. But you know what side I stand on. It's always funny to me how long it takes for like officiating or review to figure out what the taunting was. Like you go back, it took a while for people to figure out the stare down, right? The step over and look down became a penalty. The throat slit in football.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Hell, you can't
for
do the
refs
horns. You can
and people
do
to
horns
catch
up
on
now.
to kids slaying that turns into taunting penalties. It's always funny to me, but I want it as much taunting as possible. I want someone to put on a 30-minute show after they dunked on somebody, right?
What is this?
Spirit fingers, whatever it is. All right, that's what I want. Because look, I know it's a sport, but it's a drama. That's what basketball is in the NBA. It's a drama.
It's a comedy.
So the more drama, the better. Anthony Edwards, flick him off. Give him $20. Take it back.
Hey,
Call his
kids
mom
watching.
fat.
There's kids watching sometimes. Sometimes.
Like Kevin Hart said, F them kids, all right? I don't care, give a shit. It's NBA basketball. I'm trying to see grown, giant men dunk on each other, talk crap to each other, talk crap to the fans. Hell, you can't say anything to an NBA player.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
Say one thing to an NBA player. Hell, they might hit you with the ball and then they'll throw you.
You're going the
thrown
gulag.
out of games. That's the wildest
Crazy.
part of this whole
The customer. That's
They
like somebody
pay you.
walking in,
If you look at Russell
ordering a
Westbrook,
pizza at your pizza restaurant and then throwing
if
it
you
out.
look at Russell Westbrook wrong, that's 6 months in jail.
Gone.
Yeah.
LeBron, too. Gone.
Gone.
That is true. Kenzie, great call. Great call. It's
Kenzie.
subjective, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Thanks for calling, Kenzie.
Kenzie,
It's a huge game, too,
great
tonight.
Appreciate ya.
Yeah, big game tonight.
All right, we got Brian on the line from Boston.
Talk your ish, young blood. Talk your
Let's
ish.
see how happy this guy is.
What's going on, boys? What better weekend could you have than mowing your front and back lawn, getting a free 12-pack of Sam Adams, and getting homemade fajitas made for you, and then topping it off with your team winning Game 7 in overtime to move on to try and get some revenge on the Florida Panthers.
Wow.
Man, hey, how? Let me ask you this: how you feel about the series coming up?
Not good. Not good. But I didn't feel good. We'll see. Florida looked like a wagon, and they took care of the Bruins last year too. So, but as you guys know, hot goaltending can lead you to a Stanley Cup. Swayman's been phenomenal.
Yeah. And, hey, nobody's hotter right now than the Bruins goalie.
You're riding them hard.
Golly. Game 7 OT, man. What a life.
That's how it should be.
Guys, what about that last week when I called, Blaine, you had that question in the chat talking about the home team knowing how the puck bounces in their stadium. How about that overtime goal? Pasta goes in, bounces right out to him, snuck behind the defense into the goal. Like that's the home ice advantage right there for you.
The small subtleties. That's the difference.
And again, I thought that was a great conversation, to be honest, because it's how do you can't really, like, only during timeouts or intermissions can you get like the crowd all together at the same time to do something because the puck changes so fast. Like, hey, we're on offense, be quiet. Hey, we're on defense.
Yeah, it's hard to cheer when you're there as a hockey fan because everything's happening so fast.
It's like sped up basketball. Awesome. But no, Brian, you were spot on, man. You were spot on.
Appreciate it, Brian.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And before I go, I just got to tell you guys how jealous I am. My mom and dad retired down to Florida last year, and my dad texted me last night. Guess who just got tickets to Game 2?
Hey, baby, nothing like this. Go ahead.
He deserves it. He's a retired Boston Cop, so he's enjoying retirement.
Yeah.
Him and Mom are going to the game.
Well, I'm sure they're going to have a blast, man. Part of me wants the Bruins to win. I don't know. I have no connection.
Owen Wilson behind enemy line.
We'll see. Well, hopefully they get the dub.
Call in again this week, man.
Thanks a lot, guys.
See you, Brian. Congrats, brother.
All right, well, we got to go from that optimism to our boy Kirk in Canada.
Kirk, 29 cents.
They put up a good fight, brother.
Pain, boys.
You doing all right?
Turkey.
Yeah, it took me. It's Monday. I'm recovering here.
Yeah. But it takes time.
Hey, kudos to Brian. You guys played a good series, and Swayman is amazing.
Let's be honest.
If they win the next series, it'll be because of Swayman for sure.
Yeah, he's nice. Swayman Dragon.
Brian can, he can get out of here, Kurt.
I don't like the way you're rubbing that bat in between your legs like that. It's making me uncomfortable, Blaine.
Touch it.
No.
Usually I got to run into the bathroom, but when I heard Brian on, I said, I'm up next. So I went into the bathroom early to keep you guys waiting.
So what's the answers in the off season, Kirk? What are the answers?
Answers in the off season, we pay 53% of our salary goes to Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Tavares. So that's got to change.
Who's the odd man out? Who's the first one you're kicking off the island?
Well, I'd like to get rid of Tavares, but he's 33 and his contract's way too high. So if we do get rid of Tavares, it's going to hurt us in the end. But I would have to say, if I was a betting man, that my money be on Marner, and we'd have to get a first-round pick for him, and hopefully a good defenseman out of it.
Yeah, it's. I know it got ugly there at the end with him.
But you know what? When Wall wasn't in at the beginning of Game 7, I was absolutely shocked, and I just figured this game was going to be over. But to Samsonov's credit, he played a pretty good game.
Gave you all a shot. Literally, pun intended.
Now the only thing left to do is mail a merch pack north of the border.
Yeah, baby, it's coming.
Never
Turkey.
We'll get Justin.
Turkey, it's coming. I got it.
No, you literally forgot until Kirk
I got it handled. Don't listen.
Hey, Kirk, we love you. You're not getting anything.
This is me and you right now. You know how deep we go back.
You better.
You know how deep we go.
But you know the thing is, Blaine will be the first one to make fun of Matt Walsh for not going to the WNBA.
How dare?
Send a merch
and Kirk sent us ketchup.
How dare? All right, Brian, call in here and talk about Sam Adams and fajitas. What kind of selfish bastard does that? Selfish. He's
Cinco de Mayo in Boston.
Yeah,
okay?
Who drinks Sam Adams eat fajitas at the same time?
Guys in Boston.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
On Cinco de
An
Mayo.
American does.
That's disgusting.
Appreciate it, Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk's call dropped. I don't think Canada was happy about our segment before this.
Yeah. We talked about Trudeau. All right, let's go to Sean in Baton Rouge. Sean, what's up?
Calling Baton Rouge. Actually, they're calling us.
Yeah, good morning, boys. How y'all doing?
Hello,
what's
Sean.
up?
Hey, David, real quick, just wanted to congratulate you on Just What America Needs. Heard the song.
Thank you.
Great song.
Thank you, sir. Hey, share it with everybody down there at LSU.
Will do. Although I assume with the cold pizza and a woman I've been loving comment, the song's about Darby Lou, correct?
Look, there's a lot of her in there, and I've severely underestimated the cold pizza community.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I'm learning the wickedness of my ways.
You're growing.
There's an encampment at Columbia already about it.
Yeah, look, America doesn't need more Alabama fans, so let's just pipe that noise.
Screaming.
Oh, wow.
The only line I had to
American
deviate
needs.
from her was the singing Dixieland with a fifth in hand, because she'd never have a fifth of whiskey in her hand.
That'd be
But I
wild.
tried to do it with something like Pinot Red, because she just loves wine. But the only band that would rhyme was Grateful Dead, and I'm like, this ain't gonna work.
No, yeah. Those two things don't align.
But anyway, Jake, I heard you went and saw some college baseball this weekend.
Dude.
My LSU Tigers have won the last 3 weekends in a row, including this past weekend against the #1 Texas A&M. Should I start getting my hopes up that they're getting hot at the right time?
Yes.
Or am I just going to get disappointed at the end?
Yeah, no, it's it's not a flash in the pan weekend, right? And we see those in college baseball where, teams catch a couple breaks, or a team catches a couple breaks on a weekend, they're able to steal 2 out of 3. LSU is, and you can see it, right? Like that they're starting to become complete. They're just too talented for the switch not to flip it at some point. And the thing you have to be grateful of as a fan is, I would much rather the switch get flipped heading into the postseason than to have this vice versa and be really good the first half and just fall off a cliff once the second half of the postseason comes. We see this in college basketball all the time. You have some teams that really turn it on in the end. You have some teams that turned it on early, shocked a lot of people, and then fall off a cliff. And we look at the way LSU's recruited and the experience that they return. Yes, I mean, it's LSU baseball. I'd feel pretty good about it right now, Sean.
It's amazing. It's amazing how contagious winning is in baseball.
For sure.
Like, you look around, certain guys are hitting in the lineup, certain guys are getting clutch hitches, certain pitchers, relief guys are coming in, and everyone starts doing your job, and they don't really notice you just start winning games.
Yeah.
That's what I think LSU is doing.
Well, sounds good to me. And Jake, whenever you're ready to come watch some baseball at the box, I got an extra.
I've got to. I've already gotten so many invites. Now that I've been to the Dude, and I'm going to be honest, have you ever been there, Sean? You ever gone to a game there?
I have not. I've only ever gone to a college baseball stadium that has 7 national championships. So I don't know.
I respect the flex.
What
If
a
you do,
savage.
hey, in all actuality and serious note, if you just love college baseball, it's worth the trip.
Are we going to Omaha this year?
Like it's worth
Are we going to Omaha this year?
to see it.
Let's go.
I think
Shoot,
we
I'd
need-
love
I don't
it.
think Omaha gets enough.
But
Auburn is definitely not going to Omaha, guys. I'm just
no,
I don't know.
yeah. Well, listen. I'd almost rather us not go than us go like we normally do and lose the first 2 games because we can't throw the ball from third to first. Speaking of Mississippi State, but no, I've been invited now that I've gone to the Dude. Had a bunch of Arkansas fans reach out. They want to host. I'm like, we got to go on like some official visits. LSU, the new Alex box, they want us to come see. So I need some comparisons because it's going to be tough to beat that. It's going to be tough to beat where I
Sean,
just
we
was.
need a handle for you, man. What, like, are you Sean the Savage or what?
Hey, I mean, if the Arkansas fan boot fits.
Look,
Is that it? Okay.
Hey, look, if it's you must have quit.
Hey,
But Sean,
like I said, I called last year and made sure that everybody knew that Arkansas had the John Daly boys and they were never going to win it all, that kind of deal. So
yeah,
if I'm a savage. I'm a savage.
it's a savage life.
Appreciate it, Sean.
Thanks, buddy.
Great call.
All right, let's go to Timothy in Green Bay. Timothy, talk to us.
Jimmy.
How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I like the intro to this. I'm good. The intro to the show today. I got to defend. Have you guys ever been to Lambeau in the Green Bay area?
No, like that was one of the few anomalies I brought up
Buffalo,
that
Green
has
Bay.
that. Buffalo, Green Bay.
Philly?
No, Philly's too big.
Philly?
For the city. No, that's
for the
It's
fans.
awesome.
No.
Put it this way. My high school is really close to Lambeau. So Monday Night Football games, we have the half day because of the traffic and insanity of people coming.
Stop.
That is
When we won the Super Bowl, they canceled the class.
Y'all got a lot of
tell you what.
SEC in you.
I tell you.
Y'all got a lot of
Y'all would do well in the
SEC ya.
SEC.
That's why I made sure. I was like, I've got to be able to separate, like Buffalo and Green Bay. I mean, you guys' ownership is the people. Like, it's y'all, if anybody understands, that's why I think going to a tailgate, if gun to my head, you had to go to the best NFL tailgates, name the top two, it's got to be Green Bay and Buffalo, right? It's just, I mean, they're jumping through tables in Buffalo. And in Green Bay, it may be negative 30 degrees, but y'all are out there representing anyway.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you guys got to come to a Lambeau winter game this year, or one of these years.
We got, our pops played for the Packers.
Yeah.
So we got to.
A family from Kenosha.
Oh.
Well, that was my mom's
But
side. It's my dad that played. My mom definitely didn't play for the Packers, but my dad did.
Mine didn't either. My mom didn't play for
Oh,
the
I thought your
Packers
dad
either.
did.
Yeah, she
How
got
do you
drafted by him.
guys,
but
She's good, though.
Packers question. How do you guys? I didn't watch a lot of. I only watched the Big Ten really. So what do you guys think of Jeff Hafley? How do you think he's going to do as the DC?
I think he's going to be great. I know it's a big loss for Boston College. I was hoping Jeff would stay in college because I think, he eventually could have gotten to where he wanted to, but I feel like the offer was too good to turn down. Now that he's just focused, A, on one side of the ball as opposed to being the head coach, and B, it's defense, I think Jeff's going to be 100% fine. I think you guys are going to love him. I actually think he fits into the pro game really, really well with his personality. Doesn't have to worry about recruiting anymore. Doesn't have to worry about guys going to class. Because against Boston College, Boston College has tradition. I have a lot of respect for Boston College in the college football realm. But you're not operating at the same level as the top dogs in college football. So I think at Green Bay, you have all the resources you need, right? You have the tradition there. The guys understand how important it is to the people. I think Jeff Hafley was a really good hire. I'm excited, and I hope he does well. And I wouldn't be shocked if we look up 5 to 7 years down the road and Jeff Hafley's a head coach in the NFL. He may actually fit in there better in college, to be honest.
I'm hopeful. And then one last thing. You guys know I was telling you I'm coaching that 7-on-7 team with the high schoolers.
Hey, y'all been hot. How's it going?
Last week, we had a bye this week, but last week, down a touchdown, 25 seconds ago, we go 2 plays and win the game.
Yes,
what was the last play you called? Do you remember?
For the first play to get us 32 yards down the field, I ran a deep over and got that. And then last play, we did a fade out combination on the outside, got the touchdown, the out.
You're just waiting for him to break the linebackers and throw it underneath?
Yep.
Yep.
Did you throw the out or the fade?
What's that again?
The fade out. Did you throw the out or the fade?
We got the out. We extended it to the goal line and caught it right at the goal line.
Love it. Love it. Hey, keep it going, man.
God,
Hey, remember, it's always evolving. All right? The book's going to get out on you. It's how you adjust when the book gets out on you. Adjusting to the adjustment. Never forget.
That's right.
Appreciate it, Timothy.
Great call, Tim.
Let's go to Jeremiah in Alabama. Jeremiah, what's up?
Good morning, gentlemen. It's your favorite bullfrog here.
What's up, buddy? A mighty good friend of mine.
Up, dude?
So me and my friends talk about sports pretty much every single day. We're basically you guys, but
yeah, me too.
So we had a discussion the other day. Do you think Alabama football or Alabama basketball is the most likely to win the next national championship for Alabama?
It's just what's harder.
Well,
give me football still.
I would say football just because there's not going to be 68 teams that are in a tournament that you got to beat to win a national championship. And if you're Alabama, you could go 9-3 and still find a way to make it into the playoff and win a couple games and win the whole thing. Basketball is just so hard. It just...
I'm going to go devil's advocate here.
You're going to go basketball?
I'm going to go basketball.
I mean, I don't think that's crazy.
Sears is coming back, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't announced that yet.
Okay, but
I think he is.
I know they got Omiori, the Rutgers guy.
Look, I think Nate Oates, right now, Nate Oates is building something that can be very dangerous for the future.
Well, it already is.
Of basketball, what he's building in Alabama. And I think right now it's going to take Kalen a couple years to find his identity at Alabama. Although they all have 5-star, they lost a lot of pieces this year. Caleb Downs chilling over Ohio State. I mean, you lost Bond to Texas. I mean, you lost both your corners to the league. So I think Alabama basketball will have a better chance of winning Natty than Alabama football. I think Texas coming in the league, just a lot of good football playing around. It's tough to
I think you can make a logical argument for it. It's amazing that you can make that argument. I mean, that it's even a thing with the way college basketball was in the state when I was growing up, Jeremiah. I mean, hell, we were just praying to God to make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when Alabama was playing 3v5 against Minnesota.
I'll never forget when Auburn beat unranked Xavier in Bruce Pearl's early career with Simeon Bowers at point guard, and I was like, I can't believe it. I was like, we just beat like a Big East team in basketball because I mean, they had like J.P. McCura and some other guys.
Now look at
I remember watching Alabama and Auburn basketball. I remember watching Alabama and Auburn basketball be terrible.
Yeah, we lost to the encampment. We lost to the blue-haired protesters.
Appreciate it, Jeremiah.
Great call, Jeremiah.
See y'all.
See you, bud.
And I'm the bad guy. And I'm the bad guy.
You are, dude.
What a Monday, y'all. Last caller of the day goes to Jimbo in New York. Jimbo, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, fellas? It's your boy Q Smoke Jumbo here.
What's up? Speaking about confident, I mean what Syracuse is doing in recruiting right now. I mean,
Brand Brown.
It's like the first time y'all like. It's like when those deaf people get those implants, like when they're 20 and you can see the first time they hear. Like that's what it's like for Syracuse.
I love those
right now.
So they're deaf people?
They were deaf. Now they can hear.
With that being said, I just, I'm grateful for it. The 180 that he's done for our program, and he's set the blueprint for recruiting, though, in that area. But without wasting too much of your time, I'll get right into it. So in this year's NBA playoffs, I think we're witnessing something a lot greater than just the, going for the next chip. I think we're witnessing literally the passing of the torch.
Blaine said that the other day. Yeah, but that's what Blaine was saying the other day, too.
Mm-hmm. And here's what I mean. You have no Curry, no LeBron, no KD, no Harden, no Westbrook, no Kawhi, no Chris Paul in the second round of the playoffs this year. So with that being said, who do y'all see in taking over as the official face of the NBA? Now, for me, off the top of my head, it comes down to a few names. It comes down to Wemby from San Antonio. I think he's had a hell of a rookie year. Anthony Edwards, SGA. I can't even say the guy's full name, but he's a hell of a player.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, and then you have Jokic, and then you have Tatum. What do you guys think about the future of the NBA going forward?
I think just because you're the face of the NBA doesn't mean you're the best player. I think to be the face, you have to care about being the face. That's why it won't be Jokic. Mm-hmm. I think Jokic is the best player. He's the first guy I would take.
But he doesn't want to be
he doesn't want to be the face. He wants to go play basketball, play well, and go ride his horses and do whatever and go try and kill John Wick. I don't know, like those are the things. I think Anthony Edwards
control a bunch of minions.
It's exactly.
He looks just like
I think Anthony Edwards is John Morant. I think was gonna be. And then all that stuff off the court happened, and it's kind of tougher to put him in that. I think Anthony Edwards is slowly becoming the face of the NBA.
I actually agree with that, and I think that's why this series is so interesting, and this game tonight is so interesting. We've never seen someone be the face of the NBA but not be the best player too.
Yeah.
So while I agree with you that Jokic doesn't want to be it, Tatum doesn't have necessarily the personality for that kind of thing. Giannis is still interesting, like what's going to exactly happen with Giannis, but I like the Anthony Edwards thing, but you have to be the best player still too.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to be unique and do things in a different way, which is why I'm really interested to see like how great does Wemby become?
Yeah.
And can he be a guy who like gets multiple championships? Because then that could be face of the NBA material.
Yeah, I agree. And Jimbo, we talked about this. I do think there's a changing of the guard in the NBA. And I do think Anthony Edwards, and I said this a while back, fits everything. He checks every box you need to be the guy of the NBA from a competitive standpoint. The way he plays, the dunks, the flashy plays, the in-your-face mentality. I think he's going to be the face. I think Wemby will be the most interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Because he's 7'6".
Well, it's funny. The two most intriguing guys for me to watch play are both on opposite ends of the spectrum and for totally different reasons, but also similar reasons. One, it's Wemby because he's 7'6", and the other one, it's Jalen Brunson because he looks like he's 5'3". Like both of them operate, like it's fascinating to watch. That's what I think makes.
And I think you could put Luka in that conversation as well, but I I don't think they'll let a white guy be the face of the NBA.
Well, you can. I don't agree with that. I just don't think that you can go out in the first or second round of the playoffs every year and then be the face of the NBA. Also, another thing, you can have multiple guys at the same time under the right circumstances.
For sure.
I mean, the Larry and Magic were the face of the NBA at the same time, but you had Celtics, Lakers, you had all sorts of, narratives.
Well, what you want if you're the NBA is you want matchups like of the big dog. That's what you want. Like you want Anthony Edwards and Jalen Brunson going at it. You want Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum going at it and battling and having these high flying moments. So Jimbo, I think you bring up a great point. I think you're exactly right.
Well, before I go, can you remind me of the guy from the Magic again? Shout out to David S. I forgot his name off the top of my head. I think he's really good
from the guy from you talking about Pablo
Banchero?
Yeah, Banchero.
You're talking about Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah. Well, I like Jonathan Isaac, but I'm talking about the other guy. The guy
Pablo Banchero.
Great player.
Yeah, I mean he's physical. I don't think he has.
There's so many guys I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Thunder. He will be in that conversation. Ja Morant can be in that conversation.
We always quote Red Bayou, coach of Louisiana on the Water Boy. You know what my daddy said is better than one lobster dinner? 12 lobster dinners. And that's what the NBA wants. But Jimbo, great call, buddy.
Yep.
Thanks,
all right. If you don't know, we have a new betting board that is got to be number one in the country. All right, we just added to the best studio around. By the way, we're going to put our P.O. box, if you want to send in stuff for the studio, for us to put up. Got this Washington State flag.
Wazoo!
All right, that we got stuff from everywhere. It doesn't matter who you root for. We put it all here. We got the shelf of friendship, which we're going to show you eventually. But we love the new betonline.ag. Use promo code Booster. Again, if you're going to bet, betonline.ag. Tonight, all right, I'm going one straight up NBA and another little multi-sport parlay. So give me the Knicks. -5.5 at home tonight. The Garden's going to be rocking. Pacers don't play great on the road. I think the Knicks may win by double digits. I got them at -5.5 at -110. Then I'm going to go Florida Panthers. All right, home tonight against the Bruins. Sorry, Brian. I hope your dad has a great time, though. Them to win on the money line and the Nuggets to even the series back up at 1-1. Put those two together, that's +126. Having a really good month so far, but it's a 0-0 mentality. Shout out to our boy Eric Sharber.
All right, we were talking about the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. I'm going to take the T-Wolves +5.5. That's going off at -110 right now. And then on the ice, Bruins, Panthers under 5.5 goals at -130.
Been some low scoring.
All right, I love it. 14-4, 21-4 in the month so far. Let's stay hot. Give me the Nerfy and the Tigers Guardians. I don't see where the odds are. I believe that's going off at -130. I'll go back and check. And that's Rangers -1.5.
Against the A's?
Against the A's, +122. Motoring!
All right, Ace, what do we got? Still, dude, the Ace cone thing is, Justine, that was one of the best ideas you've ever had.
Thank you.
We're bet buds. He's going to take the Knicks -5.5 with me. Then the Twins, speaking of Minnesota, talk a lot of Minnesota today, on the money line at +110. Don't know who they're playing.
Getting them at plus money right now, which is awesome. And the Twins are playing scanning. They just played the Red Sox. That's not it.
No.
The Twins are playing the Mariners at home.
Wow. Plus money at home.
Plus money at home.
Never a bad thing unless it's the White Sox and Eric Fetty isn't pitching.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, Booster Club, let's go to a $2 donation from our residential Phillies fan, Ryan Gage. Said, ha, ha, ha. How about them Braves?
Look, it's a long season, buddy. Our best three hitters. Matt Olson's 5 for his last 44. He'll figure it out.
I still don't know what my life would be like if Ryan Gage didn't donate every day.
I don't know.
Not great. $5 donation from Tommy Guns. He says, gentlemen, come to Massillon, Ohio for that college field at the high school level. Go Tigers.
All right, look, I want to check it out.
I'm down. Let's go to a $10 donation from Sco Duck. What is more likely, Oregon versus Ohio State 3 times or Texas versus Georgia 3 times?
Oh, give me Oregon, Ohio State just because, number one, I think both of those rosters and Oregon getting Dylan Gabriel was huge. I think Oregon's built for the Big Ten more than they were, as crazy as this sounds, in the Pac-12 when you look at, kind of identity-wise, the physicality, the makeup, and what Dan wants to do there. The reason I don't have Texas and Georgia 3 times is because I think it's going to be easier to navigate through the Big Ten than it is the SEC still, especially with what Michigan's losing. Because look around. I mean, the Big Ten's got some quality teams, but I think from a depth standpoint, the SEC's got more. Either one I could see happening, but I would lean toward Oregon, Ohio State. I think those are the two teams that are going to play in the Big Ten championship game.
And that Oregon game, that's at home during the regular season.
At Ohio State or at Oregon?
It's at Oregon.
At Oregon. Man, dude, there's going to be some insane matchups this year with this conference realignment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to a $10 donation from our one and only who just called Cuse Mode. Fran Brown has been going to the Central New York community and brought back former traditions here in Syracuse, such as the quad walk. The right coach can not only revive a program, but an entire community.
Best friend since Farmer Fran.
So
Another
true.
Waterboy reference.
It's the knee. All right, $5 donation from Yo, That's Rough. Says Cone is right. Cold pizza is trash, just like the Yankees.
Cool.
Go Sox, go Bruins, go Celtics. Suck it, Blaine.
Yes.
What a dono.
Away,
I got a bat in my hand.
Yeah. Away, Brandon.
All right. Everyone donated today. Thank you so much. Let's get to the poll. This poll is just what's better? Cold pizza, warm pizza.
It shouldn't even be close. Warm pizza, 95%.
I'm going to say warm pizza, 83.7%.
Warm pizza, 83.7%.
Oh, my God. No way. Don't trick me like that.
Warm pizza, 81%. Cold pizza,
19% of y'all.
Look, cold pizza's not bad, but obviously
it's
warm
obviously
pizza.
not better than warm pizza.
Thank you.
But it's
Wait, maybe
good.
we should ask, is cold pizza good? Maybe that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
over
my
all
it's
of it.
my fault. It's my fault.
We appreciate you guys. Hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Shout out to our sponsors, Good Ranchers, Mack Weldon, Shopify for today. Got a great show for you the rest of the week. Make sure you check out that merch link as well that we put in the chat. If you want to send something, we got the P.O. box in there. We'd love to put it in the studio. And just like the Maple Leafs, once again in the playoffs. Sorry, Kirk. Going. Oh! Gone. It's a catch. It landed on me. We know the rules.